Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel with another Raid Shadow Legends video. In this video, we'll be talking about a champion that has gotten a little bit of buffs that will help you if you want to go and use him. And he's actually a pretty stable champion than he used to be before. And you can use him actually in PvP as well. Now, in late content, we'll be talking about some specific stuff that you might need to avoid or maybe place him in the different situations, but he's really absolutely fantastic right now. And we're talking about Bambus, so we'll be talking about him and explaining everything about him and going into his masteries and what do you need him for into your content and how he can help you actually on your account. And before we continue, of course, if you want to download the game and start your journey with Raid Shadow Legends, make sure to use my link down in the description below. I'll keep it in the comment section to have a head start with 3 legendary champions, including Elenaril as a starter, so you can go and have a massive account. And of course, if you use promo code Desert Queen, you're going to get the beautiful support from the Void faction Tagoar, which is one of the best champions that you can get with the promo code in this game so far. And of course, on the 7th day of login with the Assassin's Creed collab that's happening, if you log in for 7 days, you're going to get the free login reward, a champion, the legendary Ezio as well, which will help you a lot because of his poison and everything that he brings to the table. And with leveling up your account, you're going to get 3 extra epic champions and a little bit of goodies. So Bambus actually is one of the champions that is from the Skinwalkers. Now, basically before, what I understood from the reviews and checked every single player that had him and they maxed him out and they used to use him, he wasn't that efficient in the game content as you would expect him to do, but he got a little bit of buffs, so we'll be talking about them and talking where he shines the most. Now, he's not the best support in the game, he's not even one of the top 50 supports in the game, but for specific technical usages that you need to use him, you can say that he's built specifically for scenarios like Hydra and a little bit of PvP. If you want to like play something defensive or a lot of buffing in PvP, he would be absolutely fantastic. He's a great cleanser. We'll be talking about that. You're gonna read the skills and be like, Pika, he doesn't cleanse, but basically he does, since he soak all the debuffs, get them to himself, and then when he wakes up from his slumber, from his sleep, since he's a panda, he will go and actually give them to somebody else. Bambus 4-leaf, I think he's a decent champion. If I can get a new code to go and play with him, there's a lot of content creators that have them as a download link for the game. You can go and check them out. Somebody like Vulcan, he have him as a code, so you can go and enjoy your game if you want to start with Bambus. And if you want to go and focus on Hydra mainly, he will be a great support there to help you out. We'll be talking about him now. If you're gonna go and check the ratings, you're gonna tell me, wow, what is this rating? This rating is mixed, and it's always getting updated, and these are the people that basically built different champions to go for Hydra, and they didn't focus on him, or they had bad encounters with him in the game so far. So they still are a little bit not fair with the ratings. I would say he's rating at like something around 4.5 on Hydra. Specifically, if you put him with Wixwell teams, he will work as well because he provides shields, and you will be immortal with the shields that you can get, and he will help you out a lot with the debuffs that you have. If you have another a complete team with Provoke, with all of the debuffs that you can ensure on that. On campaign locations, he's decent. He's not that good. Actually, I don't find him that is really super important because many aspects in the game that you want to go and avoid. You want just to go and crash all of these campaign locations, just hammer them and do the technical usage for them. You're not gonna find him in specific places. If you check for arena, I don't think that arena offense, arena defense, he's not the greatest as well. But you can use them there. If you want to go and soak a lot of damages and debuffs, you can use them there. Don't go and check these and check like these, even rares. Some rares have like 5, 5, 5, 4, 4.9, 4.5 ratings. It doesn't mean that they are better than this champion. His base stats are decent. His speed is absolutely fantastic. We'll be talking about that as well. It's a great buff for his speed at 110 speed. So he's not that bad, but he's not a legendary that you'd expect to be a full complete legendary because we have a lot of variety of champions in the game as legendary. So we'll be talking about him, explaining everything that you need to know and where to use him. And specifically, he's catered to Hydra so much that we did try him on a new account for Hydra, and yes, we broke records because he was a perfect support there. So on his A1, so he attacks one enemy, has 75% chance that goes up to 100% to place 30% decreased speed debuff on one enemy, which is really great. But will attack all enemies instead if the initial target is under 2 or more debuffs. So if you start with another champion that is high on speed and you inflict 2 debuffs on the enemies, which is really decent, that you can do somebody like with a promo code that you can use Desert Queen, you can get to Hunarak. Hunarak uses her A2 at the start of the battle. That's attack down and buff blocks immediately. That's 2 debuffs. So if you go and attack with his A1, he will attack every enemy and put the speed down on them. Absolutely beautiful. If you use Michelangelo, let's say you have your Michelangelo in your account, he uses his A3. If he's that speedy and starts from the start, you're gonna do also attack down, leech on the enemies, so you can go and use his A1 as an AoE. And whenever you keep rolling with your AoE and you have all of these debuffs on the enemies, you're gonna start using his A1 as an AoE every single time, inflicting decreased speed, which is super helpful in many scenarios. Okay, this attack has a 100% chance of decrease the speed. Then places sleep debuff on himself for 1 turn. This cannot be resisted by any means. Okay, so he will sleep. You're gonna tell me, oh my god, he sleeps himself? How useful is this? We're gonna talk about his passive. Hold on. Now, his A2, Grov Tender, which is really nice. I don't know what does it mean. Attacks all enemies. This is great. Before attacking, now you're gonna see that his attack comes from his from the source of damage from his attack. We don't care. We don't care about his attack. We just want to land everything that he gives us and be happy with what he gives. So he will give us shields, maximum from his maximum HP. So we want to build him on maximum HP. He's speedy, we want some speed. He lands debuffs, so we want accuracy on him. And of course, if you have any other points, you don't want to take crit damage or anything else or attack. You want to get a little bit of defense, so he will be the ultimate support on your team. So places a shield buff on all allies equal to 30% of his maximum HP for 2 turns. Absolutely beautiful. Also increases the duration of all buffs on your allies by 1 turn. This is absolutely great for champions that you might, if you're free to play, specifically free to play or low spenders, and you don't have all of these champions, because it's rare to have these champions that put perfect veil on all of your allies. There's a couple of rares that do that. I will go and show you one that I already have. He will give you for, I think, 1 turn, and you can, or maybe 2 turns, and you're gonna extend it, and it will be super helpful for your rotation on your lineup. Absolutely beautiful. This is very, very important because the duration sometimes goes to 2 turns, and you have your skills at 3 cooldown. If he extended even more, it will be synergized with your cooldown reductions or with your cooldowns, that it will go back and you can use it again and use this one because it goes up to 3 turn cooldown as well. So you can keep syncing up all buffs all the time, which is absolutely beautiful. After attacking, has a 75% chance of decreasing the duration of all enemies buffs for 1 turn. This is super important, which is really great. 75 goes up to 100%, even if the attack lands a weak hit. So no matter what, if you have the accuracy for it, it will always land, it will always remove or decrease the duration for the buffs from your enemies, which is absolutely nice. Also increases the value of the shields buffs to all allies by 3% for each enemy buff that has the duration decreased by this skill. So it's more than 3%. If you're playing against Hydra, there's many bosses or many heads on the Hydra. You're gonna go and decrease many of them. This 3% will go and ramp up immediately to something like 12% or even more. And it accounts for the shield that you get from him. So it synergizes well with his own skill. So it will be a massive big shield, which is absolutely beautiful. Then he places sleep on himself that can't be resisted. Okay, great. You're gonna tell me again, sleep. We're gonna talk about his passive. Just hold on. His A3, which is really decent, that it can go up to 3 turn cooldown, and it has a 100% land rate. So first, that's what he does. Dream Sight. He doesn't attack. He does only the buff or the debuff, buffs and debuffs. So places 50% increase accuracy and 50% increase attack buff on all allies with no accuracy. Okay, so immediately you're gonna get the accuracy and you're gonna get the attack increase for 2 turns. These are beautiful buffs. The accuracy, immediately you're gonna get higher accuracy and you're gonna get higher attack. Then has a 70, which is 100% chance of placing enfeeble debuff on and a 50% decrease accuracy debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. Now, the enfeeble does not go for bosses, only for campaign or for enemies on PvP or whatever. The enfeeble debuff cannot be placed on bosses. Has a 100% chance to place 50% decrease attack instead on bosses for 2 turns. Absolutely beautiful, especially if you have this synergy with other units that you want to go and deal damage and gain a little bit of attack. He will do that. There's a special unit that we did a video about it, which is Torvald yesterday. Torvald is another Void Legendary attack champion that he is depending on how many buffs that you can give him. So if you're gonna go and read his skill with the shield, it's a buff. The shields are buffs. Some people are asking me how shields are buffs. You can read in the text, shield buff. The shields are buffs, so it's considered buffs. Plus the increased accuracy, plus the increased attack, and he gains other buffs from himself. I think he gets crit rate and attack as well, or something like that. So it will help you a lot with getting more buffs on him, so he can go and smack actually, and you can use him in on more contents actually. With having him with Bambus, they are the perfect pair or duo. You can also use champions that we did also reviews on, and we did spotlight somebody like Razelvar, because he gets also how many buffs he has. He does more damage, so you can use him. Even with somebody like Cheshire Cat, you can use him as well for the buffs because he gains more from the buffs. Okay, so finally places sleep on himself for 1 turn. This is gonna be resisted. So increase attack, increase accuracy. He does enfeeble for normal units. For bosses, he does do the decrease attack and decrease accuracy. Absolutely beautiful. Now, let's talk about his passive. Sleeping Sage. What a beautiful one. It has a passive, it has an active. We'll be talking about the differences between them. Okay, he has a 75% chance of transferring any debuff placed on an ally champion to himself if he's under sleep. So they're attacking other champions for a single target or whatever without hitting him. Whatever debuff that they get, he has a 75% chance to go and grab it to himself. This is super important. We'll be talking why, but nothing with control, right? So block revive, also another one. Stun, freeze, fear, true fear, whatever it is, any CC, he will not transfer it to himself, okay? Because his shenanigan is get him to sleep, wake him up, do the reflect debuff. At the start of this champion turn, remove any sleep debuffs from this champion. Every time that you get a turn for him, he wakes up and he continues. He doesn't miss his chance. So the active skill is transfer all debuffs from himself. So he soak all these debuffs and he transfer them to the enemy with the highest resistance. If a sleep debuff was removed from this champion by his own passive skill or from any enemy attack. So if you're getting a lot of poisons, a lot of, let's say, provoke, a lot of any debuff, accuracy down, specifically from Hydra, you're getting all of these debuffs back to you. He gonna go and grab them, hold them to himself. Whenever he wakes up, he transfers them back. So a little bit situational, because sometimes when he has like the Hydra head, when it attacks all enemies, it's gonna wake him up anyway. So he transfers it 1 time, he stays awake, so you can't even transfer them whenever you get the chance for him. But it's still a really nice means or ways for you to go and do that. This effect cannot be resisted or blocked, so he will do it 100%. He has an aura also for all battles, 25% HP, which is really decent to increase your HP if you want, but we will go for speed most of the time because we want to go and be faster than the Hydra or faster than the enemies. But it's really helpful if you feel like you want to increase his HP so you can get thicker shields, especially if you're playing him with shield buffing teams that depends on HP. He can be a great leader. It's on all battles, not only in PvP or in bosses, but everywhere in the game. Absolutely beautiful. Now, I was talking about a champion that might give you something like Perfect Veil. Let me go and show you one of the champions. I think it was Ironclad, right? Does he give attack? No, I forgot which one was it. There's a champion, he gives defense also to himself, which was you give defense, increase defense, and do you do, okay, Veil, not Perfect Veil, for 2 turns. So basically any champions that, like these, this is one rare that we got from an event that is free, that I got him to 50. I'm using him for Veil a little bit because, you know, I didn't get the assassins that give you Veils and whatever. So he will give Veil to everybody on the team except himself, which is decent. You can extend this Veil instead of, and you see the cooldown is -1, so it's on 3 turns. So when you use Bambus, it will be 3 turns for Veils. For Hydra, that would be absolutely nice because when you're under Veil with versus Hydra, you're not gonna get, I think, the fear. Yes, you're gonna get the big fear. He will not get it, and on 3 turns, he can get it every single time and have the debuffs or the buffs on themselves. Let's talk about his skills on Hell Hades. So Bambus, you're gonna go and see that on Demon Lord early game. These are early game, or now on. I don't know if this is completely updated or not, but I guess it's updated a little bit. On Demon Lord, he's okay. All these buffs are really decent. From any champion that gives buffs like him is really good for Demon Lord. There's a lot of champions that can play on Demon Lord. He does well actually here. For Hydra, his specialty is for Hydra. Chimera also works because of all of the shields and protection and all of the deflection for the debuffs and putting the debuffs on the enemy. Spider, early game, everything on early game is okay. And later on the Iron Twins, he's perfect for that because of all of the shields that he gives you, by the way. Iron Twins, yes, it's also his specialty because he's a very, very protective champion. For hard mode, Spider not gonna work. For Fire Knight, he doesn't do multiple hits, like, or he doesn't benefit you from turn meter or anything. Dragon is the easiest boss in all of Raid Shadow Legends. I hope they never buff Dragon and it's completely good like this. I'll make a video about hard mode Dragon on my early free-to-play account, which is really decent. Ice Golem also doesn't work that well. You can see his ratings. Scarab King and Frost Spider, because you're gonna go and get all of these debuff reflections and you're gonna get all of the shields. He's really okay for that. If we gotta go and check out his Masteries. Basically, you don't want to build him on anything else than for Hydra boss, because it will help you also in other contents. You're not gonna use him in wave content, and if you have any type of wave content, you're gonna have a champion specifically for that. So he goes for defense and support, but for Hydra, he goes actually to increase a little bit of damage with War Master. I also, if you want to play it for Hydra, in my opinion as well, I will play him as wave content to get that defense and the support and the maximum HP also on him. For PvP, you can play him as a debuffer, as a tank, or as an enfeeble. So you can play him as an enfeeble. There's two options that you can play him for the masses that you can change, but I highly recommend for free to play specifically, just use him as wave content for Hydra boss. Even though it says offensive here, it doesn't matter. You can play him for wave content just to get the extra defense and keep you surviving. You don't care about anything. He will be a debuffer as well here. For his blessings, cruelty. Basically, if you don't have any cruelty on your team, you can change that. You can use anything if you want. You can use whatever you want. But cruelty is really decent because you're going to go and always go and attack the boss, reduce the defense of the boss. So you can use cruelty on him and use any other blessings on different champions. So you're not forced to use cruelty on them. Cruelty is basically perfect for him. It's the best slot for him, since you want to go and decrease the defenses whenever you attack that boss and increase your damages from other champions. For his relics, now these relics are recommended. In my opinion, the golden elixir is the best one. Like the Birth Shadow, of course, you can go and get it, and you can play on speed and how much you're gonna go and play with the turn meter and the reduction and the increase of the turn meter. So, and the speed that you're gonna get, so you wouldn't be lacking behind or stepping behind versus when you play in different content. But the golden elixir is super nice. I'll be talking about it. And of course, if you can get the Volcardiac heart, it's okay. Let me tell you why, because it's everything, every debuff, every buff in the game. So basically, you're gonna put the buff of depletion on his gem, so you will have a 15% chance to decrease the duration of any buffs from the attacker that you're gonna get. Plus that he does that on his skills as well. Plus, whenever you're gonna exceed the damage by 30% on your maximum HP, you're gonna decrease the damage by 10% whenever you take it. Also here, for ignoring the defense, it will be less effective on him. And of course, the turn meter, we're gonna gain 10% extra. But the golden elixir is absolutely nice because of the gems that you put. So survival speed, he will fill his turn meter by 10% whenever his HP drops below 50%. Great, which it will rarely happen because of all of the shields, and plus if you have a healer, decent healer on your team, it will never happen. And the boss is one which will reduce the damage taken by 5% from bosses. You can use another socket for reducing the damages from bosses, but this is the mediocre one if you can get it, and it's the easier one for you to get. I have a golden elixir on my account, so I will never remove it if I can get a Bambus on my account. As you see, the recommended stats: speed, accuracy, HP, and defense. This is pure support. You don't care about anything else. Now they say relentless here. Relentless is to get an extra turn, which will help him a lot as well. I would say protection because you want to protect the buffs that you put on him or you have on him, because you have a duration, or yeah, you have basically percentages to have the protection. I would say protection and perception are nice. Perception will give you a little bit of accuracy and a little bit of speed as well on your lineup, which will be nice. You can mix it with relentless and perception, or you can put full protection. If you can do full protection, it will be also decent, but you want to focus on accuracy, speed, HP, and defense. Also in PvP, same aspect. I would say the main priority for you is speed, accuracy, and HP, and whatever you can get and grab for defense, you want to put on him as well. You can play for PvP Stone Skin, but you want to build him not for PvP. You're gonna have your PvP units. You want to build him specifically for Hydra. And of course, don't forget, if you want to start your Raid Shadow Legends journey or refer a friend, make sure to download the game via my link down in the description below to have a head start with 3 legendary champions, as Elenaril will be your starter champion. And of course, if you use promo code DESERTQUEEN, you're gonna get the beautiful support, the Honor Rack from the Void faction. And throughout your daily progression and login for the first 7 days with the Assassin's Creed collab, you're gonna get a free Ezio, so make sure to do that. And when you level your account up, you're gonna get 3 epic champions as well, and a little bit of goodies. That was it for the video. I'll be seeing you on the next one.